towers of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, and I came across this blue tarp with solar panels on it. This was quite a scene for me.
And I've been homeless, so I know that feeling of like, you got nothing, you got nowhere to live. I've been there, done that. Yeah. Konnichiwa, minasan. Kyo desu. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at why Japan's homelessness is different from America. Excited to watch this video, but before that, guys, please like the video, share the video, and hit the bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video.
This is the image that has been stuck in my mind for years. Here I was, below the massive towers of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building, and I came across this blue tarp with solar panels on it. This was quite a scene for me. That's because back in Vancouver, where I lived most of my adult life, I was used to seeing scenes like this. Why were the visible homeless I encountered in Tokyo so different? Thus started my search into understanding why the homeless in Japan are different than the homeless in North America.
Okay, interesting.
Where I started to find answers was in the research work of Professor Tom Gill.
My name's Tom Gill. I'm from England, but I've lived in Japan for about 25 years, and I'm a professor of social anthropology here at Meiji Gakuin University, Yokohama campus. There are a number of things about Japanese society which makes it a lot easier to deal with homelessness than in other industrialized countries. For a start, the level of drug abuse is much lower.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
A lot of other countries, it's pretty difficult to get hold of hard drugs in Japan unless you know a yakuza, a gangster who will supply you. And for the most part, guys who become homeless in Japan don't do drugs other than tobacco and alcohol.
Right.
Yes, there are a substantial number of alcoholics in the Japanese homeless population.
Yeah.
There are also a considerable number of compulsive gamblers. And of course, even if you are getting livelihood protection money, if you spend it all on alcohol or horse racing in the first couple of days of the month, you can still end up on the street. Another important factor is that Japan has a very conservative approach to treatment of mentally ill people who are generally institutionalized. If you look at statistics for mental health, in Japan, you're much more likely to be put away in an institution if you have a mental health problem. We never went through the processes that were called mainstreaming in America and care in the community in Britain, which are both kind of code words for shutting down mental hospitals and letting mentally ill people out into society, and which might have seemed like a good idea. Some liberal people did support that move, but unfortunately there wasn't the backup to follow what happened to these people after they were let out, and a certain number of them ended up being on the streets. And that's one of the reasons why you have a lot of people with mental health issues in the homeless population in many industrialized countries. Then a third factor is that Japan has managed to keep out of wars and conflicts since the end of World War II. So as a result, traumatized war veterans, which are another large component, particularly of the American homeless population, we don't have that in Japan either. Where are homeless people? Urban parks, riverbanks, streets, station buildings, and other buildings. So the kind of archetypal situation where you're walking along the street and you encounter a homeless person is a lot less likely to happen in Japan because a lot of them are not in that part of the urban space.
Right.
Most of them do try to keep clean. One of the reasons why they tend to gather in parks is because they generally have public toilets and washrooms there, which helps you to
that makes sense.
A basic level of hygiene. On the question of begging, it's true that very few homeless people in Japan beg. far more likely
Right.
as a way of making a bit of money is can recycling, and sometimes newspaper and magazine recycling. That's the main way for putting together a little bit of cash. Why they don't beg? I think there are push factors and pull factors. Japanese are disinclined to beg.
Right.
They're also
That's
disinclined to give to beggars. And these two things go hand in hand. In countries with a strong Christian tradition, or indeed a strong Muslim or Hindu tradition, giving to the poor is deeply ingrained in
Very true.
religion and the
Very
culture.
true.
There's nothing quite like that in Japan. So people are less likely to give money to beggars. I mean, they're not used to being begged off. It's a chicken and egg situation, really. The fact that, it's shameful to beg, and you don't want people to know that you're homeless. You don't want people to know that you're unable to look after yourself. Pride, shame, these are also factors.
It's a very interesting topic. It's crazy how homelessness, there's different factors that affect every single country. In America, a lot of homelessness is done to mental health or any kind of addiction of some kind. Alcoholism is very high in America. I would say America definitely has a very aggressive homelessness population. There's a lot of homeless that do a lot of homeless that do a lot of egregious things. Like, for example, California, a lot of homeless people do street, leaving dirty needles on the street. A lot of them do inappropriate things on the streets as well. Even in the area I live, there's a lot of beggars. People always begging for money. Sometimes they're very aggressive and they trying to shame you for not giving them money. I do agree with the fact that because our culture was founded on Christian principles and a very religious tradition, many places in America do have charities, or they tend to help the homeless out a lot. For example, my church that I go to, we've done things in which we've gone out to the streets to give homeless people umbrellas and food and snacks and things like that. And I definitely understand the reasons why, homelessness in Japan is so different. Because a lot of the values and belief systems that they have, kind of make them not want to do anything. For example, begging people for money, it's a very bad thing to show how bad of a situation you're in Japan. And I've been homeless, so I know that feeling of you got nothing, you got nowhere to live. I've been there, done that. Yeah. But please let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, also hit that bell as well to get notified whenever we post a video. Hanto, arigatou gozaimasu. Mina, 気をつけて。じゃあね。